Okay, this is a bit of a lazy Sunday morning video. I'm going to press some orange juice using my citrus presser. This is a Simplex 1. It's actually, I think, a lemon press. It's made in Italy. I think it's a thing of beauty. I've got a bit of a utensil fetish as it is, but I think that's a lovely thing. It's like a massive garlic press, I suppose, but it's made for lemons, but works just as well for other citrus fruit of similar size. I do have to cut oranges into quarters if I'm pressing it in here, which is a bit of a faff, but I'll just put them in there. It squeezes them rather nicely, and we're just left with a fairly dry piece of skin like that. Let's press the whole orange and we'll see how much juice we get out of one orange. And then we can just pour off the juice into there. It's a bit laborious really if you're squeezing juice for drinking, but it's Sunday morning, I've got nothing better to do, so let's press some oranges. And then we're going to see what we can do with these orange peels. Okay, so that's the juice of 9 oranges. It's not bad. Of course I could have just gone to the store and bought some ready squeezed orange juice, but it wouldn't have got all that lovely pulp and zest in there. Or I could have invested in a huge expensive electric juicer or something like that. But anyway, using the tools we've got, and I'm now going to do something with these orange peels. Okay, so we're going to make some sugar syrup, which will be 2 cups of white sugar and 2 cups of water. So equal volume of sugar and water, and we're just going to put that on a low heat to dissolve completely. It doesn't need to come to the boil, it just needs to dissolve until it's clear. So give that a little stir in just to make sure it doesn't burn on the bottom of the pan. Okay, the sugar syrup is now completely clarified and actually is starting to boil at the bottom. There are a few little grains still in there, but I'm just going to turn the heat off now because that's as far as we need to take that. Next we're going to cut up these orange peels and put them in the crock pot here. This is a small slow cooker, and I'm going to slice these into thin strips, put them in there, and then they'll be cooked in the slow cooker in the sugar syrup. You don't actually need a slow cooker for this. You could do this over a low heat in a pan. So I'm shredding this up into, I don't know, I suppose matchstick thickness pieces. You can go really as thin as or as thick as you like here. What we're going to be making here is a bit like marmalade, but it's not for spreading on toast. This is going to be kind of cooking marmalade really, I suppose. This is going to be preserved peel that we're going to put in a cake. I'm not removing the pulp from the oranges because there's a lot of flavour still in there. Even though we squeezed most of the juice out, there's a lot of flavour and texture still in that pulpy bit there. I guess this is the part when people normally say you should use unwaxed fruit for this. I'm not using unwaxed fruit, I'm just using cheapest oranges I could possibly find, which means I am going to be eating some food wax here. It's not nutritious, but it's also not toxic. You know, this is the same mineral wax that they use for making candy, glossy and so on. So if you object to eating wax on citrus fruits, you probably should abstain from all candy and confectionery. Okay, so I've filled up my crock pot with orange peel shredded up. I haven't pressed it down really hard. I found a few pips, and I cut off and threw away some bits of orange peel that weren't very nice looking. I got a few left over because I miscalculated, but that's the way these things sort of go. So the next thing is just pour over the syrup we made until it fills all of the voids until it comes up level, which is about there. That looks about right. A bit more. There we go. Okay. And then that goes into the slow cooker. Okay, so that's going to be cooked on high until it comes to the boil, and then we'll turn it down to low, and it'll probably have a total of about 6 hours cooking, but we'll see, and I'll fill in the details later. So let's have a look at this. This is our orange peel. It's been simmering away in the slow cooker for about 5 hours, and you can see the peel has now gone translucent, which means it's cooked through and it's absorbed some of the sugar. The smell is quite incredible here actually. The aroma of sort of marmalade-y orange zestiness is coming off of this, and it's quite intense. That's good, that's what I wanted. So now we're going to put this into jars, so I'll turn that off for now. I've got some jars here which I've sterilised in the oven for just about 5 minutes. I'm just going to let these cool off a tiny bit so that I can touch them. I've sterilised the seals by immersing them in boiling water, so I'm still having to be ever so careful because these jars are very hot, but we'll get the seal on like that. So now we will just decant the orange peel mixture into the jars carefully like this. So we're just going to top off that jar with the orange syrup now, like that. Okay, and because we're sealing them while they're still boiling hot, that helps to preserve them, because any pathogens or anything that are in there will be exposed to boiling hot temperatures, so that should sterilise it further. So I've just got to wait for that to cool now, and then tomorrow I think we're going to make a cake, and we'll use some of this orange peel in the cake. We'll make a marmalade cake. There's a tiny bit left over here. I'll put that in a dish. I'm just going to have a little taste of this so I can tell you what it tastes like. Just the syrup, I think. It's bitter because it's orange peel. But it's also sweet. It's like marmalade really. So that syrup would be fantastic over some really sweet ice cream, or drizzled over a sponge cake. So that's how to turn orange peel into preserved orange peel for baking. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.